Hi there, thank you for joining me. My name's Steve and I'm the founder of Aika. So today I'd like to basically walk you through how to schedule your day in Aika and hopefully make you feel a little more comfortable with the ins and outs of timeboxing with the platform. So let's dive into the schedule, which is the first screen you'll see after logging in. If you've ever seen a calendar before, I'm sure this looks very familiar to you. We have time down the left-hand side in 15-minute increments and the days of the week across the top. If you need to skip backwards or forwards through time, you can do so with these buttons here in the top left. Nothing mind-blowing so far. However, the schedule is a bit overwhelming at the moment with the full 24 hours here on the left. I don't work for 24 hours in a day. Unfortunately, I have to sleep. So let's make it a little bit more manageable. If I select Settings and then General, I can change what I consider to be the start and end of each working day. That's better, far more reasonable. Okay, let's start planning out tomorrow. To create a new block, simply click on an empty space and drag the mouse downwards. When you release the mouse button, the block will be created and a small dialog box will open prompting you for some details. Everything in this dialog box is optional, and some people find the colours alone are sufficient for their purposes, but I like to take advantage of some of the more advanced reporting features, so I try to fill it in as best I can, so let's do that. I'm going to enter a short description and a couple of tags which are just words separated with spaces. You can also change the colour here if you wish. Tags are particularly important because they are how we're going to report on this later. How you use tags specifically is very much personal to your work and your life, but here are a few that I use. Bio. I use this for everything that relates to the biological entity named Steve. This is for lunch, gym time, meditation, going for a run, anything like that. Some people find it weird that I track that, but I find it useful as a point of comparison over time. Your mileage may vary. Family. Family time is important and sometimes it's easy to neglect if you have very squeaky wheels elsewhere to grease. Family often falls to the bottom of the list of priorities, so being able to detect that that's happening is hugely valuable. Client or project names. If you're a freelancer or you work on multiple projects, then simply using the client's name or the project name as a tag is very useful for comparing your intended priorities with your actual priorities. It's very easy for the worst clients to take up the majority of your time without you realizing it. Okay, wonderful, we created our first block. If I need to edit the specifics of that block, I can just click on it and the details box will come back. If I wish to remove the block, I can simply click the trash can here. I can create more blocks in exactly the same way, so let me do that now. Okay, that's a pretty full day planned for tomorrow, but what if there are changes, right? Well, no problem, we can make changes pretty quickly by just dragging the edges of blocks. You'll notice that as I do that, it takes space away from the subsequent block without allowing for overlapping. Remember, multitasking is bad. One block, one task. Alternatively though, if we drag down while holding the Alt or Option key if you're on a Mac, the subsequent blocks will be pushed down instead of overwritten. We call this push mode. This is useful if you just need a little extra time on a task or something is likely to take longer than you initially thought and you'd like those subsequent blocks to slide for 15 minutes or half an hour. Similarly, blocks can be dragged around to move them later, earlier, or to a different day entirely. One final thing about the schedule that you might find useful is that you can change the number of days visible on the schedule. For me personally, I find having the whole calendar week visible to be not particularly useful, although I can see some uses where it might be. So I can go into the general settings again and select yesterday plus 2 days. I find this gives me a good retrospective view on what I did yesterday and allows me to plan ahead for the following day. That's everything on how the schedule works, so it's time for you to get stuck in and plan your next work session. I hope you have a great and productive day.